Hello and welcome to DVB English News. I'm Joe. In this week's headlines, Myanmar Now journalist sentenced to 20 years in prison. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres says repression is destroying hope for a return to democracy in Myanmar. ASEAN holds the military regime responsible for violence, and Aung San Suu Kyi is denied outside medical care. Photojournalist Sept has been sentenced to 20 years in prison with hard labor on various charges. He was arrested in Sittwe, Rakhine State while covering the aftermath of Cyclone Mocha. He was later transferred to Yangon's insane prison and indicted on multiple charges. The exact charges leading to his conviction are unconfirmed. Myanmar Now reported that he was denied legal representation. Sept is the second Myanmar Now journalist targeted by regime authorities since the 2021 military coup. DVB states that at least 171 media workers have been arrested over the last 2 years and at least 50 remain in prison. 6 have received prison sentences of at least 10 years. 4 journalists have been killed. 50 journalists have had warrants issued for their arrests. And 14 media outlets have been banned. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said that hopes for Burma to return to democracy are now being destroyed by the military. He made the comments during the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN summit in Jakarta on September 7th. Guterres added that brutal violence, worsening poverty, and systematic repression are crushing hopes for a return to democracy in Myanmar. He called for the release of all political prisoners and noted that the situation on the ground does not allow for a safe and dignified return for Rohingya refugees. ASEAN issued a statement on September 5th, during its summit, condemning the violence in Myanmar. It said it held the military regime primarily responsible for the civil war. The ASEAN statement was condemned by Naypyidaw. The regime responded, stating that Myanmar was not represented at the last ASEAN summit of 2023 in Jakarta, Indonesia. It added that the ASEAN statement is in violation of its principles of non-interference. Jailed state councillor Aung San Suu Kyi is reportedly ill and a request for an outside doctor was denied. An unnamed source told Reuters that the 78-year-old was feeling lightheaded and suffered from swelling in her gums, which led to a lack of appetite and vomiting. The National Unity Government spokesperson Jaza called on the international community to put pressure on the regime. The NUG wants the military to provide adequate health care to Aung San Suu Kyi and all political prisoners. The state councillor was detained during the 2021 military coup along with President Win Myint. She was sentenced to 33 years in prison, but had her sentence reduced to 27 years on August 1st. And that's all for DVB English News. I'm Joe. Tune in every Friday for the latest headlines from Myanmar. Thanks for listening.